Conservatives. And our next guest is Haley Alberts from South Weaver. Welcome to Red Meat Radio, Haley.
Hi, thank you so much.
And you and I have not had the pleasure of meeting, so thanks for agreeing to be on the show. So Mike Maurer told me about you yesterday, and you are really unique in the sense that, as I understand it, you ran a write-in campaign for city council. Is that correct?
I did,
And not only did you win, you took first place.
I did. Isn't that crazy?
Let me tell you, I kind of am a nerd on Utah politics. I don't think this has ever happened before. And in fact, I consider myself pretty knowledgeable. If you would have called me a couple months ago and said, I'm thinking of running a write-in campaign, what would your advice to me be? I would have said, don't do it. You will lose. Write-in candidates always lose. So tell us, why did you
would have been the only one to have told me that.
No, I would have told you that. And so I'm going to have to rewrite my whole script if someone asks me about it because of you. So tell us, what inspired you to run a write-in campaign and how did you pull it off?
Well, honestly, what happened is a lot of people in South Weaver kind of got involved at the exact same time. And it was kind of a conglomeration of a couple different issues just colliding at the same time. We had a tax increase that had happened, 100% tax increase. We had a development that was really concerning to some residents, and we had our general plan underway. And a big help to this was a Facebook group that got started that was dedicated solely to the issues of our city. And so I got added. I knew our general plan was underway. My mom actually was running for city council, and she won in her city
What city is she
She's in West Haven.
Okay.
She's Kim Dixon. And so I knew the general plan was really important. And so I had kind of been following that and trying to kind of learn a little bit more about it when I got added to this Facebook group at South Weaver Citizens United, and found out about this other development coming in and found out about our property tax increase. And what happened over the next 6 weeks was just really incredible to me. It was just residents coming together and wanting to know more about what was going on in our city and wanting to understand what was happening and wanting to be involved. And at that point in time, the people who had filed for candidacy had already done so in June. And so I knew I couldn't go in as a candidate on the ballot, but I also just wanted to make sure that all these voices that were concerned were being heard. And one of the biggest problems that I saw was that we were leaving it to the public meetings to have those voices count. And, less than 20 people were coming to those meetings. But there were so many more people than that wanted to be involved. We had people with young families or with careers that they weren't able to make it to the meetings, but not because they didn't care. They cared very much. And so I kind of made it my goal I had a hashtag. It was SW for South Weaver more than 20. And my goal was just to get as many people involved as possible. Our general plan survey was underway. I think the most the city has ever gotten as far as feedback for a general plan was like 25 comments. And I made big goals, and we got almost 500 comments back to our city officials on that general plan. And I went to work. I worked hard. I educated myself. I got up to speed. I think I've probably listened to 50 hours of audio minutes. I've read all of the minutes that's happened in our city and planning commission over the last 4 years. Just really got myself up to speed so that when people had questions, I could answer them and I could get that information out to the citizens so that they could get their concerns or their comments, their feedback back to our city officials. That was just my most important thing to do.
Well, Haley.
And they saw it and they voted for me.
Congratulations. That's extraordinarily exciting. And I must say I'm absolutely impressed with your commitment to understand the issues and dive into the details. Very, very impressed.
Yeah. Haley, I ran for city council, and I was kind of a thorn in the side of the city in 1999, and I did the same thing as you. I went back and I read all of the minutes from the meetings for like years, and I kind of became an expert on stuff. And I was telling, like in our debate, I was like telling some of the city council members how they voted on stuff that they didn't remember how they voted on. So, because I just read it. So you're smart.
And the wonderful thing is, it's, and I don't mean, I appreciate your compliment so much, but it wasn't just me. It was so many other residents doing the same thing. And it just, to me, it shows so much that we care. We care very much about our beautiful city, and we want to be involved. We weren't using all the avenues that we could, and I was determined to make sure that we did. So it's just been amazing here in South Weber. The citizens have just been amazing. Incredible.
I just want to point out you were the top vote getter in South Weber. South Weber has about 7,300 residents, and you received 1,092 votes. Which was the most. Number 2, a guy whose name was on the ballot, was Quinn Soderquist. You beat him by about 80 votes. So did you pass out stickers, or did people just literally write in your name?
Yeah, they had to write in my name. I did have some stickers that I did pass out. I did do signs throughout the city, but I really wanted to get door to door, so I have flyers. I actually ordered 2,000 flyers, and I think I delivered about 200 of those, but the rest of them, I had volunteers who came to me and were willing, and within 3 days, everybody was walking the streets of our city and passing out flyers and putting them on people's doorknobs for me. So, I really just got to clap to the citizens here. They've been amazing.
That's really cool. I want to point out one of your sister cities up there, Sunset City. The top vote getter there was Beverly McFarlane. I think she's the former mayor there, but she got the top number of votes. Natalie Gordon got the most votes in North Salt Lake City, and Kate Bradshaw got the most votes in Bountiful City. So we have a trend. And Tamara Tran got the most votes in Kaysville City. So we've got a trend where a number of Diane Anderson got the most votes in Fruit Heights. So it looks like, and Amy Shumway in Farmington, it looks like most of Davis County, Anna Stranton in Clinton, most of Davis County cities had female candidates getting the top number of votes, which I think is wonderful.
Fantastic.
So you're part of now of a mother-daughter city council team with your mom in West Haven. Our next guest, and we're not going to transition to him yet, but Kelvin Green in West Jordan, his son, he was just elected. His son Mike Green they're a father-son combination. His son Mike Green's a Draper City council member. So I don't know how many mother-daughter, father-son combinations we have in Utah, but I think I would have to guess that that's pretty unique.
Yeah. I think it just shows that we're seeing that we can be the change that we want, and people are stepping up rather than just complaining about it and wishing it was different.
Absolutely.
People are saying, okay, well, hey, let's make the change. Let's step up. Let's rise up.
How long has your mother been on the West Haven City Council?
She's just elected. She's brand new.
Brand new, the two of you. Okay.
So she's kind of the same situation as me. She's not been interested in politics. I mean, she's voted and things, but not really been very involved. But there are some things going on in West Haven that she didn't like, and was initially her plan was to find somebody that would better represent, the neighbors, when she realized that, it should be her. And so she stepped up, and so I kind of follow her lead in my own city.
Have you or your mom attended any of the Real Women Run training seminars?
We haven't, because we both just barely got involved.
Wow.
So
well, you can teach them next year. So.
Yes.
Have you heard about those?
We both had to just write our own book here.
Yeah. Have you heard about them before? Because they've been happening for about 3 or 4 years, I think, maybe 5.
I think I heard about it the day after the election. Somebody mentioned something to me. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Need to look into that.
West Haven is in Weber County. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so one of my fun facts, I don't know if you know this, Steve, or if you know this living in South Weber, but one of my fun facts about Davis County, Davis County has 15 cities, and it's couched between Ogden and Salt Lake, of course, but the southernmost, and listen closely, the southernmost city in Davis County is called North Salt Lake. The northernmost city in Davis County is called South Weber. Kind of weird. Kind of weird if you think about it.
That is funny. Yeah, that is weird.
So what are you hoping to accomplish on your 4-year term?
One of my top priority is to keep that public involvement. As we represent the citizens, we really can't do that if we don't know what they want. And what happens is citizens tend to kind of get they feel comfortable with their leaders and they kind of start to take a step back. And it means that leaders need to start making choices for them. And I don't feel they're meaning to steer the wrong direction by any means. But if we don't know what they want, then we are just going to have to make the choices ourselves. So in order to really truly represent our citizens need to stay involved. And so that would probably be my top priority, is making sure that they're just understanding what's going on. I try and explain things in simpler terms. After looking through as much research as I have, I'm starting to kind of get a feel for it. But it took me a while to figure this out. If I was just, a random citizen going to the minutes and reading it, I don't know that I would be able to follow it. So my goal is to just kind of continue to put information out there that kind of makes it in simpler terms so people can understand and be able to follow what's happening in the city. And then that public comment, I really, really want our citizens to be involved so that we can best represent them. In addition to that, growth is kind of a common theme on your show today, that we need to make sure that we are controlling our growth, that we're attracting the type of developments that we want for our city rather than whatever comes to us. Commercial is definitely a concern here in South Weber. We need to look into that, or else we're going to continue to see the kind of property taxes we just saw of 100%. We need to make sure we're bringing in more revenue. And then, our general plan and making sure that it's going to be adopted here probably in the new year. That will probably be something that I get the opportunity to vote on, which I'm excited about because I put a lot of work into that one.
Yeah.
So making sure that it aligns with what our citizens want, and we're representing our citizens. That's my top goal.
That's great. That's great. What is your? I was going to ask you this as an introductory question, but what is your educational background? Do you have a college degree or?
Yeah, so I went to Snow College, and I have my associates, and then I went to Weber State, and I majored in psychology. I'm actually a mom. I have 4 kids. I've been a stay-at-home mom for 13 years, and I'm a homeschool mom on top of that.
Oh, wow. You're busy.
I'm a little bit out of the ordinary here, but I think that just attests that you can make a difference. And, we have this. I remember when I first got in, I remember talking to a couple of my friends and being like, well, what about when they ask what are my qualifications, or what is, I don't have this amazing master's degree or this career in budgets or anything, and I was really concerned about it. But what I found from the residents and what I found on my own is that you can educate yourself on what's happening in the city. And as long as you have that passion and that love for it, the rest will follow. And the citizens saw that.
I agree so much. I don't know if you heard our earlier segment with Brittany Bills from the Highland City Council, but she said, yes, I have a master's degree, but my best qualifications is I'm raising kids in this city. So
yes, and I love that because I feel the same way. In the end, I'm doing this for my children, and I don't know that you could ask for better motivation than that.
Well, congratulations, Haley. We're going to be watching you in South Weber.
Thank you so much.